Well, yeah, man, this is episode number 16, bro. Episode 16, the most vulnerable player.
Yes, sir.
With Eddie Sinegal.
Mm-hmm.
So with Eddie, so a little bit older. I'd say maybe you graduated in 2014, right?
Right.
So I graduated 18. I'd say like four years older. So you probably went to school. I think you went to school with my sister maybe when she was a senior.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty like we crossed paths just here and there. I know my brother went to school with Albert.
Okay.
And I think my brother also knew your older brother as well,
Oh,
Aaron. So,
nice.
yeah, but yeah, when we crossed paths, went to the same
Yeah.
high school. So
We know each other, but we don't really like.
yeah, for sure. But I'm glad I'm been able to get you on, bro. It's
No, for
it's
sure,
dope.
man. I'm honored to be on. When you asked me, I was like,
Yeah,
let's do it.
let's
Yeah,
do it.
most vulnerable player. Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, and
Sure.
I love how you came in, you set the vibe. Like
Yeah.
you're the first person, bro, to like just bring like your own setup and
Yeah.
like just have I like what's the meaning behind that, and what kind of prompted you to like just bring things that are kind of close to your heart, right?
I just felt like it was an opportunity.
Yeah.
Just to show who I am,
Mm-hmm.
show what I'm about. Big family guy. And I wanted to set the vibe. Like, this to me is we're connecting. Like,
Yeah.
we're family after this, because
Yeah.
this is my first time doing something like this. So I wanted it to be right.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be nice, man. I wanted to, respect
sure.
the space, and
Yeah.
let's get it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love
I
it.
appreciate that.
So yeah, man. So what you been up to lately? So you work at Barone Elementary, right?
Mhm,
And you
mhm.
teach special ed.
Special education. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And
How'd you get into that?
just picked it up.
Yeah.
My mom's been teaching. Shout out to my mom. Wonderful lady. She's been teaching for probably 20 plus years, but she really kind of got me into teaching. My sister's a teacher as well, but it was just something that came across, and many people don't pick it up because they're not sure what it's about, or that environment isn't, it's unfamiliar to people. So
Yeah.
to me, I just love people,
Mhm.
all people. So like, that was something I was like, yeah, like I could do it,
Yeah.
because I could do it, and I
Mhm.
want to do it. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
to me,
And
for sure.
those kids, like, you definitely. I'm sure you learn a lot from just being around those kids, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they teach you things as well
No,
every
for
day,
sure.
right?
Yeah, they teach me some of the disabilities that I had that I didn't necessarily know
Yeah.
growing up, because it's evolved over the years. So yeah, they definitely are teaching me every day. It's something new.
Yeah.
The kids are amazing. They're just like all the other kids. They just have things that they're working through.
Yeah.
And I love to be there to help them. And it challenges me to figure out new ways to teach and to learn with the kids. I love the kids.
For sure.
So
That's badass, bro. I like that.
I
And then,
appreciate that.
so what was your upbringing like, bro? So you were you born here in El Paso, Texas?
I'm originally from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas.
I moved here in 2000,
Mhm.
so it would have made me like 6 or 7. I moved out here. I'm the youngest of 4, so you know how that.
And
Are you the youngest?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm actually. Yeah, I'm like. I
yeah,
am the
yeah.
youngest,
So you know how the younger sibling
Siblings,
stuff
yeah,
works. Yeah,
for
so,
sure. So you have so it's Albert,
uh-huh.
and then
So it's Albert. It was Aaron who had passed.
Yeah.
My big sister Amber, and then I had a little sister who also passed.
oh,
So
man.
it's
Yeah.
2 living, and then 2 who have went on
Yeah,
with the Lord. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm the youngest of
a 4. Yeah,
4. Yeah,
and were you guys all really close?
all really
Yeah.
close. My parents are preachers.
Mhm.
So really how we got to El Paso is my mom just, hey, this is something that we need to do. A lot of people get here through military,
Mhm.
but we were one of the few that we had a cousin out here. My mom felt it would be a good place to raise a family,
Yeah.
so she brought us out here, and I've been here.
And how old were you when you came out here?
I think I was 6, so I was still fairly.
So you still kind of remember the move a little bit?
Yeah. So I still remember
Like
Dallas.
switching schools and everything?
Yeah, the transition. It wasn't too much of a culture shock, but it was definitely something new that I
Yeah.
wasn't familiar with. So yeah, we came out here, fell in love with the city.
And
love it.
because both your mom and dad are preachers, have you always had just a strong faith and relationship with God? And
yeah, so I grew up in the church. Like I said, my parents are ministers, so I've always had that connection, and always had them steering us in the right direction on where your faith is. And so I always knew God and grew up very in that space, which has been a blessing to me, and I'm thankful for my father for introducing me to God.
Yeah, so, for sure. And what role have you seen, has it played in your life? I mean, I'm sure many roles, but more than anything, is there anything in particular that you can...
I mean, the list is long. I mean, God has been tremendously good to me, but just having that faith and that core value to always bring you back when you get lost, you know, as you're growing up, you could kind of get lost in this world. And that's been the biggest help for me is when I got older. You know, when you're a younger kid, you don't really I didn't have a choice, you know. You're going to church. That's how it was. But once I got older, my parents let me make that decision for myself, because they understood that nobody could cultivate that relationship with God for you. That's something that you have to do on your own. Yourself. Right. So what growing up made it more familiar and a little easier for me to because I had praying parents, praying siblings that, you know.
Because I mean, I guess when you grow up in that, you're kind of so used to it, knowing just how to be close to God. But for people who kind of never grew up in that, but they want to get into it, it can be a very foreign thing. Some people don't even know how to pray or I mean, I don't think there's one way, but it's definitely can be foreign to a lot of people, just having that relationship. And
no, for sure.
Things like that.
And that's what I tell people too. I mean, although I grew up in this, it didn't exempt me from going through my own processes and going through my own, relationships with God. I still had to do it for myself. My parents couldn't do it for me. So I think the misconception is that you always had it, which, is true. But as you get older and you start going through your own experiences, you have to learn and cultivate a relationship for yourself. Yeah. So it's definitely challenges, with everything. But the one thing I love about God is it could be new. It's still new to me every day. It's still a new experience with God, even though I've been in it for a while. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. For myself, I grew up in the Catholic Church because my parents, that's kind of how we were raised, right? Yeah. But if I'm being honest, I guess once I kind of went on my own, I mean, I still live at home, but I mean, you get to a point where you kind of just start thinking for yourself, and not that I think that, not that I kind of separated myself for any particular reason, but I guess for myself, I just wanted to understand why I believe in certain things. Sometimes, when you grow up, you kind of just follow after your parents, right? So I think I'm just kind of in the position right now where, even though I still believe in God and everything, I want to know why I believe in these things. And so I get into conversations with my friends, James, all the time. We go back and forth just on certain things. But like I said, I just I want to be open to different ideas and different experiences. But I definitely think that it can help a lot of people just having a relationship with even just a higher power. Because I mean, life's hard, bro, and we go through a lot of different trials and tribulations, and
100%.
Sometimes you kind of need something that's a little bit higher than yourself to feel like it's not just for no reason, you want to feel like there's a reason behind the things you're going through.
And that's a part of just walking into your purpose. I guess everybody is trying to find their purpose in life, and I've learned through my experiences, my trials and tribulations, that God is always the way to finding your true purpose and walking into your destiny. So I definitely understand that
for sure. And so you grew up, and did you play sports like your entire life?
Yeah. So yeah, for as long as I can remember.
Because then people kind of like growing up, people knew you as an athlete, right? Like a really good athlete.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So really, just all my life, I feel like I've been playing sports, basketball, football, really passionate about, and that's how some people may have got introduced to me is through the athletics and stuff, which is phenomenal because I love to play.
Yeah. And what role do you feel like it kind of played in your life, kind of growing up?
It was an outlet.
Yeah.
Something that, you know, when you step out on that field or on that court, it's just you and, you know, the court or the field, but it definitely shaped my life. Definitely helped me just pick up, you know, all of the things that sports really help you do, like finding those core, having discipline, whether if it was just waking up or putting in the extra time and the extra grind. It definitely helped me figure out, you know, where I wanted to go and what I wanted to be. So definitely, yeah.
And the relationships you kind of build with people, right? Like,
man, what?
I think my closest friends are people like I hooped with or played football with. Like, I don't know, there's something about just kind of that type of thing that just kind of builds a strong bond with people. Yeah,
you go to war out there with your brothers, man. It's definitely different. And now that I think about it, I think all of my friends now, it's been through sports, mainly. So
for sure.
Yeah, that's really how it goes.
And did you like have a preference between basketball and football? Because I mean, you're really good at both.
Yeah.
But
everybody always asks me this question, and I feel like my first love was basketball, just Mike and, you know what I'm saying, Kobe, all of those guys. But I love football. It was really hard to choose. And in high school, they try to make me choose all the time.
Yeah, that's a thing, right? Like, them coaches are always like kind of.
Yeah, literally, man. And I'm grateful for my father that he was there to be like, nah, he's playing both. Because it's easy to just be like, you know what, I am, you know, they're telling you, oh, you're better at basketball.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Football coaches is telling you, nah, like, you need to. So I'm glad that I was one of the athletes that got a chance to play both and be able to excel in both. So I can't even choose. I really do love them.
And we kind of came up with the same like high school coaches and too. So like, what was that? Because me and James still talk about this all the time, but because you guys went far, like your senior year, you went to the Elite Eight. And what was that like? Like, you guys were, I mean, that was a good squad, bro.
We was ranked number 1 in the state of Texas. I don't think any El Paso school had ever done that before, so it was definitely a high that I'll remember, you know, forever, playing with those guys. Coach Lewis, rest in peace to Coach Forbes, who's no longer with us. I call him Jimbo. I used to call him Unc all the time. But I mean, those memories are some of the ones that you'll never, you know, forget. I definitely feel like we should have won state, but I was grateful for, you know.
Yeah. It was it was a great program. I mean, bro, those practices were like hell.
Man, listen, I would get into those practices, but they'll be calling the cops and getting some people arrested for what was going on in that facility, man. But it made us better. And,
for sure.
I appreciate it now because it helped me know that, like, hey, okay, like, you got to work hard, even harder than hard, because that's what Coach Lewis had us doing. Shout out to Coach Lewis, man. He's doing a very good job at Chapin. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a crazy. I mean, people don't really understand. Like, it was that till this day. It might be some of the hardest things I ever had to go through, bro.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Those miles, man. Those long practices. Those
28s.
Yeah, and I'm coming right from football, so this is after getting, you know, trying to not get hit, and then come to a practice that's like, all right, the intensity just went higher. I just got in the building like, we're about to turn it up a little bit. And
now, like, I'm a little bit older, like, I really respect that, and like it was good for us because, like, it's crazy the tone that they want you, like, every practice, like, you have to be in it. Like, if your energy isn't there, like, you have to be 100% every time, and if not, it's gonna be an issue.
100%. There were some dogs out there, man, and it's really good get 8 or you gotta, you know what I'm saying? So we had to come with that intensity, come with that. Coach Lewis did a very good job of lighting a fire under us and getting us riled up so we could play hard. And the results, I mean, the proof was in the pudding. We didn't win it, but I mean, yeah. And then the team after us went to the
Final Four.
So that just shows you that, like, hey, like, this is how deep we were.
Yeah.
We won the Elite 8, then Final Four. We had a bunch of great guys on that squad, man.
For sure.
Sure.
Nah, that was breeding a bunch of good. Andrus was all
athletes,
the hoopers.
some dogs, man.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
But yeah, so you ended up. Did you know what you wanted to do? Like, because you went to UTEP to play football,
right?
So how did that kind of pan out? Like, when did you know that you were gonna go play at UTEP?
So, I wanted to play basketball and football in college. I mean, many people weren't doing that, so I was really trying to find a space where, like, yo, like, I could go do both.
Yeah.
And it kind of just presented itself where Coach Kugler, who came down to the school, was just like, you know, the whole recruiting thing, and I was like, nah, like it's time for me to get out of El Paso. I wanted something, you know how you think that you want something, and I had a couple other offers out of town, and everybody was always like, man, you need to just leave. You need to just leave. So I had already had my mind set, and the coaches came, they offered, and they were just like, yeah, you could play basketball, football, just come take a visit. And I was like, I'm not going to take a visit, which for any athlete could always take all of your visits. You know what I mean? And I took the visit with low expectations of like, man, I'm not, staying here.
Yeah.
And they just blew me out the water with their presentation, and I loved it, and I ended up
So
staying.
Can you explain that? Like, because I mean, there's a lot of people that don't go through that recruiting process, bro. So like,
I mean, just from just allowing my family to be a part of that. So my brother, my mom, my dad got to come. They rolled the red carpet out for you. They have a spread, ready for you. You go up into the LKD. And you get to look out at the Sun Bowl through those big windows. And I was like, man, like, can I imagine playing here? I just played high school here, and I had a pretty good, fan base of following of people who enjoy watching me play. So once they presented that, like, hey, like, listen, if you come here, like, I'm telling you, you're going to get fan love from the city, which they did. And they kind of just did that. Just show me around, and the rich history that UTEP has. Not a lot of people, know
about it. Yeah,
know about it, and
it's kind of disappointing, bro. Because I mean, that's cool. I mean, there's so many good. Like, it's a really good school, bro. But like, I don't know how it is now, but for sure, like UTEP wasn't getting, especially for football, much of a crowd for a while. But anyways, but did you? So when you took that visit, did you know, like, at that visit that you were going to go, or you still had to kind of...
I still was kind of just like, trying to like, all right, I still had another visit to PV, Prairie View. And I was just like, I'm going to take it. I got a call from Alvin and was like, yo, like, this is the place that you need to be. I prayed and it worked out. And I'm glad that I made that decision because it ended up really working out for my favor, because right after high school, I wasn't able to get in and meet the qualifiers. There's qualifiers that you have to meet with grades and everything. I wasn't able to meet them for 2 years.
Oh, so you didn't go to UTEP right after?
So I had to wait 2 years before I even went, and I don't think any other school would have waited for an athlete. Okay. And it helped that I had people that I grew up playing with over there. Alvin and Aaron was over there. It was just like one of those things. I was like, man, like, let me go team up with them guys.
And so you had to wait 2 years. What were you doing in those 2 years before?
In those 2 years, I was really, and these were, kind of just getting to those trials and tribulations of, like, the stuff. But I had to take, the SAT, and just didn't really do, like, we didn't really, at least I didn't really take them in high school. I think I took it once. And,
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of like, you know, you don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's kind of you weren't worried about it at that time. You
Yeah,
know? Yeah,
right. So I didn't really prepare for it. And I didn't know that later on it was going to, you know, bite me in the butt. So over that time, I was kind of just, you know, down and depressed, trying to figure out like, man, God, you blessed me with this opportunity, and then it feels like you're taking it away from me. Like, what are you trying to teach me?
Yeah.
You know? So over that period of time, I was at the crib, you know, trying to just figure out like, okay, how can I get into college? So
yeah.
I had to take those tests. I ended up taking them 6 times before I actually passed and was able to play. That was so around 2016 was when
you got a chance.
Yeah.
That's so yeah. So you graduated, and then, damn, yeah, that's tough because you're good enough, but it's
Right.
like there's still something that you kind of need to really just overcome just to get to like that opportunity.
That was really tough.
And were you were working out through those 2 years?
Yeah. So I was really working out, just having faith that like God,
Just staying ready.
Yeah, staying ready. For 2 years, you could kind of get discouraged, and you go through all of the emotions, the ups and downs of like, God, like, you know, you could lose your faith a little bit because it's just like, God, like, listen, this test is, I wasn't prepared, you know, for this, you know, test, and just having to take it over and over, like, you know, and you have the coaches and the players like, yo, like, are you coming? Like, and I didn't want to, you know, like, please don't give up to me. So I'm super grateful for Coach Kugler for.
So he stayed in contact.
Yeah, stayed in contact with me and was encouraging me like, hey, like you're gonna get it. And once you do, you're gonna be able to come here and excel. So
did you feel like when you saw like the people you graduated with kind of like playing and like everything, like what'd that feel like?
I mean, just, you know, I was happy for my brothers who went on to go, but everybody left. So it was literally just me, like all of my friends. You're just at home. Yeah, I'm just at home trying to figure out, you know, what to do with my life, because now it's just like, all right, well, if I'm not going to college and I'm not playing football, what am I supposed to do? You know, when you have goals and aspirations, you write them down and you make them plain. It could be hard to try to adjust that, you know. So being 18, I'm like, listen, you know, you could kind of be down, and I'm grateful for my mom and my dad who supported me, you know, through those times of like deep depression or just deep, you know.
What does that feel like? What did that feel like for you? Like,
it's just those lows of like not knowing your purpose, you know. So it's hard. You're on autopilot now because you don't really know your purpose. Nothing's exciting you or making you happy. You don't feel like you've accomplished, you know. This is something that everybody wants for you, but you can't get to it. And then it felt like, because it was home, it was like a touch away. Like, man, like I could feel it. It was hard to watch the games knowing that like, yo, like I should be out there helping and contributing to my brother. So that time was like, I feel like one of my first challenges of like just going through something that's like, all right, this is just me and you now. And it helped me formulate a new relationship with God. Like I had to talk to him. I had to really pray and really go off of faith. Because it was something that like I couldn't see, I couldn't touch. It's just like, yo, God, like I need you to help me pass this test. And he did. So I was grateful when I passed it, that feeling of relief. Like,
what'd that feel like, bro? Like,
man, like, let's get it. Let's turn it up, man. Let's put this 2-1 on and let's go rap, man. So
that's so dope.
Yeah, and I'm glad it happened that way, because I learned so much about myself, the resilience that you have to have, and it shaped me for all of the other trials and tribulations I went through after that, and the ones that you're still gonna go. Like you're gonna go through those times where you're not where you want to be, but just pushing and keep going is really, you know,
for sure
the only way.
The last interview I had was with Marquise Sumter. So so my sister went to Western, and it was a Division II but Marquise was playing on the football team when she was there. But basically, he graduated in 2014, and then he basically got a call his senior year of college that from an agent that he was. I mean, people were looking like he was on a radar.
Right.
But it's a crazy story because it reminds me of yours, where it's like it took him from 2014. He didn't get his first shot to play professionally till like 2019, bro.
Yeah.
So for those 5 years, he's literally just like, damn, is this really for me? Like, I'm putting in, like, I've done everything right. I put in all this work, and it's just like he gets to that same point where he's like, damn, like, God, like I feel like I've really given everything I have, and it's like I'm not where I want to be. So
right.
he was just kind of questioning everything. So that's crazy because a lot of people really go through that time.
And that lets me know that I'm on the right path, because I love to hear that, and I watched a little bit of that interview too. But yeah, because that's kind of how I feel, and that's how I felt like, man, you know, trying to get that opportunity, trying to get that shot. I mean, my story is different from everybody else's. His was 5. I feel like mine is still, you know, ongoing, but just knowing that other people went through similar challenges is always like, all right, God, like, I trust you. Like,
and also we talked about, like, and you touched on it too, how you can, the fact that you went through that in those 2 years of just like really just tough times, like you can kind of draw back from those experiences. So like once you kind of hit another rough patch, or once you go through another challenge, you look back and you're like, I've been through some shit, bro. I know I can get through this.
And kind of just putting your head down. And I call it seasons of isolation. I don't know if you've ever went through a season of isolation, and I feel like I've been through many. Just my time on this earth of just like isolation, when it feels like you're alone, or you want to be alone, to kind of just regroup and reshape. And what those times of isolation allowed me to do was to hear God. I feel like
so it can be a good thing, a season of isolation.
Right. Because it allowed me to hear. Sometimes you get so consumed with your life, whether that be work or relationships or whatever it is. It could be so consuming that you could get lost, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, lost in it.
So like, yeah, I mean, I kind of think about all the time how like there's so many things that are happening within our lives, and it's really, sometimes it can be hard to kind of stay true to your vision and what you really, who you are as a person and what you want to do, because there's just so much shit going on, bro, all the time. And it's, you definitely need to have those periods where you isolate yourself a little bit, and you just kind of remember why you're doing what you're doing, right? And just so you can lock back in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
And so so after those 2 years, you finally pass the test, and then it's go time. So what's you start working out, or like how you, is it just in time for football season once you're ready, or like how is it?
So it's spring, so I got into the spring, and it was kind of uphill from there. You get into your workouts, you get into.
And were you starting from like the bottom of the roster, like?
Yeah, so they were kind of, you know, waiting for me. So you know, I still had to go out there, you know,
prove yourself,
prove myself, which was great. You know, I loved it. But once I got in the mix, and you know, they was able to trust me enough to start me and put me on that field, man, it was up for sure, man. So,
and I bet if it's an amazing feeling, bro, like once you kind of been locked down for like 2 years, and then you're like, damn, I can finally do me out here.
Yeah, man, it was definitely that, man. And then I got to be out there with some good athletes, some good people.
Yeah, you guys were really
so
solid.
it was really fun to just be out there and like.
Did you get to play with Aaron?
Yeah, so I played 1 year with them, and bro, it was amazing. Like I'm just like, you know, but we grew up playing against each other anyway, so it was just like I knew what type of dog he was. I knew what type of work ethic he put in. So for me to like go in there and be able to learn from him, and just all the other athletes that were out there.
Was Devin out there too?
Yeah, so I got to play. But you know, I played football and
basketball with Devin.
Great athlete too. Shout out to Devin, man.
And all these northeast
just all
athletes,
these
bro.
Like literally everybody I'm naming is from the Northeast, man. So I got a chance, you know. So just being out there with your brothers, man, going to war, the trips, just the whole camaraderie, locker room, stuff like that, man. It was definitely a blessing for me to be out there.
Yeah. And what's something that not many people would maybe think or know about, like just being a college athlete, like maybe it's something good, something bad, like
just the amount of discipline you have to have, because it's football, it's school. If you want to have a personal life, it's a full-time job to be a student athlete. And then on top of that, I had just had a daughter. So I was 20, just getting into school, and then just having a daughter. So now I'm just like, all right, God, like, you helped me with this, but you also gave me a new responsibility on top of this.
Yeah.
Now I'm in school. How am I going to take care of it?
Yeah. So was that scary for you at the time?
No, for sure. Yeah, terrifying, trying to just figure out how I'm going to do both now. Like, but it was another test. It was another thing that I had to depend on God for, So I think he designed it like, all right, now you're here. But now you have to really focus, because you have people who, you have somebody who's you have to provide for. So it kept me focused on that, and it helped me. Okay, I was driving back to San Antonio every 2 weeks to go make sure that, my presence was felt, because I couldn't be there full time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was definitely another challenge.
Even during the season too.
Mostly during the spring, during the
spring,
season, mostly during the times that weekends,
weekends,
so just trying to find those pockets of time, which that's what really helped me later on, is like, when you have a full schedule, finding those pockets of times are super important. And if you want to do it, you could do it.
That's what I was gonna say. It kind of teaches you, it shows you that if you make time for what you care about, what you love.
I really felt that when it was just like, believe people when they want to do something, they'll figure out a way to do it. So I figured out a way to try to stay as connected as possible. But yeah, that was just another challenge. But yeah, just staying disciplined, staying focused, and really locking in on your goals, because it's easy to slip into something that's not conclusive to what you want to do. So,
and is it very, super competitive? Everybody's there is really good.
Yeah. Super competitive. But you always gonna know the dogs from, you know what I'm saying? So just getting out there and establishing that I'm a dog, and I'm coming to whoever in front of me. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you got to get this work. For sure.
And would y'all scrim, like y'all would go first O versus first D, like just.
Yeah, that first season was something, because we was going live, during season, which is not normal, for people to do, but we weren't winning too much, so we were going.
Who was the best team that you played that year? Did you remember, like, your?
Probably Texas.
Texas? Oh, y'all played Texas?
Yeah, we played Texas.
In El Paso, or in?
We played it in Texas. So imagine just being in front of all of those. You couldn't hear anything. It was very live. It was very live. But we played a lot of good teams. I would have to pull up the schedule. I don't even remember who was all on that schedule. I know we didn't win many games, though.
It's hard to win in college, bro.
It is. It's really hard, and that's what fans and people don't understand. Like, because it's coaching, but it's also players too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a combination of things. So those scrimmaging, fights, scuffles, the whole nine.
And what was it like playing at the Sun Bowl, like in front of like your family, your friends?
Nah, it was live. It was definitely an experience. It was fun. I like to have fun out there, so I'm playing around. My daughter gets to see me play. My family gets to see me play. So it's always a sight when you have people in the stands that know and care about you and make you play a little harder. And I think that definitely helped me, because I knew I had like my peoples there, so I had to put on a show any chance I got.
Yeah, that's so dope. And so you played for 4 years.
So I played 2 seasons, and then with Coach Cougs, then we got a different coach. So I had Price. I may have had a plethora of coaches, just because when system is down,
they switch coaching stuff.
They switch coaching, so I got to play with Cougs, Demmel as well. So I played 2 seasons. I played, and then 2018 I redshirted, and then 2019 played another season, and then 2020 everything happened with COVID.
So
I ended up not being with the team anymore. waiting around, and then I ended up going to So Ross last year and finishing up my 7th year of eligibility.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how we got
Did you
that.
play?
Yeah,
you played out there too.
Yeah, I just played out there. We didn't do very good, but I put up some pretty good numbers. Got a chance to get some more film on tape.
Yeah.
So
do you still? Yeah. And when you were playing college, do you still have aspirations to play anymore?
Yes. So that's really why I went instead of I know people go, play overseas, but the opportunity presented itself where, I could go to a Division II and still play.
Yeah.
And it was really by the grace of God, because I was literally praying like, God, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get back into it, because when you take time off, a lot of things could happen.
For
so
sure.
I wanted to go make sure that I could still compete,
play,
at the highest or a high level, and I got an opportunity to do that, put it on film, and put a tape together, and now I'm just training and seeing how God will work it out, whatever that may be.
So are you trying to play professionally right now?
I am trying to play professionally right now. So
what's your workouts like? Like you try to work out every day?
Yeah. So I work out with
Chris.
Yeah. Chris. Shout out to Chris, who's been helping me through the process. He's been
he's dope, bro. He's dope, a genius.
Now seriously, man. He's a wizard with the scientry and the art of it, and getting you right. And I also work out at Top View. Shout out to them. They've been doing amazing things, opening up locations and stuff like that.
I haven't been there myself, but I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, Top View is legit, man. So getting in there when I can, and getting my workouts in. So I'm grateful that, they've always kept it open and, show love to the athletes who are really, consistently trying to, get better.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so how do you, so in this process of you trying to like play pro, like how do you just stay motivated, and how do you stay ready, and what's your mindset?
And we talked about those periods of time where, you had to, wait and, prepare. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of just letting God take the lead. I don't know how I'm going to do it or how it could be done, but that's the great thing about faith. It's something that you can't see or do. Only thing that I can control are the controllables, which is getting up every day, working out, hitting the field, and seeing where, that goes. So, just
it's really just taking it day by day, right?
100%.
Because I feel like when times that I've kind of been that I know I have something to accomplish, but I know it's far ahead. Sometimes you can kind of get overwhelmed when you kind of look at how far you have to go and like what has to happen. But I find that when like I just take every day for what it is and just kind of focus on the day,
or how impossible it may look on the outside, which I believe that God works miracles and he does the impossible. So those are things that I no longer let it concern me, so you don't get overwhelmed or you don't feel this way. God, I'm leaving it in your hands, and if this isn't for me, then lead me to where I could best serve you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at in all aspects of my life. Like, I'm letting God lead, because when I didn't, it had me in some places that, I shouldn't have been in. So I'm grateful to even be here talking to you, man, for real. And
so do you think that, let's just say something doesn't pan out the way you expect it to or you want it to be, you think that can like that work, because I don't think the work you put in goes to waste. I think it just kind of, you think it can translate into other things?
No, 100%. You may be, we as people, we kind of get, lost in like, this is what I want to do. Like, and when you set your mind to it, when it doesn't happen, you could kind of get discouraged. But what I've learned is, you may want this, but God may have something better for you. So continue doing, what you say you want to do, because prayer without works is dead. And whatever happens, trust that this was supposed to happen. So like whatever you're doing definitely can translate into something else. You know what I mean?
You just get, like, you just have to keep your mind open to, like you said, just continue to go, like, work towards what you're working towards, but maybe another opportunity presents itself.
And keeping your mind open to that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be locked on to things that, you know, maybe this is not for you, and that's real and that's honest and that's, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, being open to new ideas. I'm super open to whatever God, you know, presents to me, and that's why I was super happy and grateful that you asked me, you know, to come on, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a year ago I could have. It would have been too much for me, but God's timing is perfect. You know, when it happened, when you asked me, it just all aligned.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
For
great.
sure.
Yeah.
Is there like a specific I'm sure you have many moments, but maybe one that comes to mind where like an event or a moment in your life where maybe it was early on that kind of changed the way you thought about things or just kind of really impacted you in a way?
Yeah, for sure. I think the death of my siblings
Mm-hmm.
really changed, you know, everything. Losing people is always hard. But losing your brother or your sister. My sister was fairly young. My sister's name was Alyssa, and I named my daughter, you know, after
Mm-hmm.
her. So God gave me another Alyssa. So
Yeah.
that was always
That's amazing,
good.
bro.
Yeah, but losing my brother, who was 17 at the time, I was 12. And
So you still fully like
yeah, so that was one that like I was, you know, I remember losing my sister because I remember everybody's, you know, reaction. I think being the youngest, I was able to observe more than anything. You know, when you're young, things affect you differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to just kind of watch, and I do remember that, but I just remember my brother when he passed, how big of a moment it was for not only just our family, but, you know, for El Paso and the people who, you know, he did know. So that definitely
Yeah.
changed my life. And
I mean, my brother was he knew he was
Yeah.
impacted by that too. So
Right.
like, yeah, it's I can't imagine what that was like, you know.
And my parents, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, I was 11, 12 years old, but the way that my parents and my brother and my sisters handled it really helped me, you know, and they pushed me. But I remember before my brother died that, you know, he was saying my brothers were also pretty good athletes, but
Mhm.
I just remember him saying like, you're gonna be the best out of us.
Mhm.
You're gonna have an opportunity to take it way farther than we ever took it. And I think that really shaped it and made me all in with the football and the basketball because of those words and because of those, you know, because of that moment. I remember after he died in March. I want to say in August, I was playing football again, and I remember the first game I ever played. I scored 3 touchdowns, and I was just like, all right, like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I could come, and that stuff doesn't affect me here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where, you know, my peace was at though. But the older I get, the more that I realize how much it really did affect me. You know.
No, I can't. Yeah, because sometimes I think also just as men, sometimes it doesn't directly like we don't feel the full effects of it in the moment.
Right.
But I think it definitely like whether it's in our subconscious mind, like it definitely affects us in other aspects of life, right? Where we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And how do you think it affected you when you were like just a little older?
Just, you know, when I start to pull back the layers, and like I said, football was my basketball. Those were my havens of where I felt. But when I no longer had that, when those periods of time of isolation where, you know, I was trying to, you know, that 2-year period, it really, you know, you kind of just sit, you know, you kind of sit in those thoughts, and these are still layers that I'm still trying to pull back to really get to the core of like, yeah, like this affected me in ways that I didn't know, like just having anxiety and just, you know, stemming from, you know, being scared of something happening to, you know, the people that are around me now. You know, it's a little bit of like, because I know it can happen at any moment, and it's very real. It does a little, you know, give me a little like, like
how was yours? And Albert's like relationship when that happened? Like, did you guys
Yeah.
help each other out a lot?
Yeah, no, for sure. My brother, my big brother, man, he's amazing. Really just took care of me in those times, man. That was a time where I really got to see him really, hurt. I remember being at the funeral and him just, really crying because I was really his best friend,
Yeah, because they were how many years?
Yeah, I think they're like 16 months or 18 months apart,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
they were really, really, close. But just getting a chance to watch him and how he took care of me with whatever I needed, because he was 18. He was going to college. So, like, I couldn't imagine me losing my brother at 18 because, at 18, you feel like you're trying to figure life out. You know what I mean?
That's a very vulnerable age for a lot of people.
Yeah. So, but it really brought us closer together. And the thing that I will say about his death that is positive is that it really gave me a foundation of, like, love. It made me appreciate the relationships, the time, the quality, since that time, me and him, two peas in a pod. We were always like that because I'm his little brother, so he was always gone. But now it just, the I love yous mean a little more when you know that stuff that we don't let stuff bother us, because, like, listen, like, it's way deeper than anything. It's way deeper than, and it helped me, like, cultivate, like, family. This is what's important. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, you could lose your life today and life moves on, and I knew my brother knew God and he's in heaven. But, the presence is still, like, man. But, yeah, my brother has been my rock. He still is, man. He's still looking out for me, making sure I'm good. But it definitely brought us closer.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, back to, like, in life, we get so caught up in little shit, like just little things that, like, they're important and they definitely can affect us. But at the end of the day, like, family, like, I know when I'm going through my toughest moments and then I just realize, like, I still got my family, bro. Like, my family, it's everything. Like,
I call my brother right now, he'll be here. You know what I'm saying? And it made me again appreciate and look at life, differently. You have a brother, you said?
My older brother. So my brother's 33, I'm 23, and then Steph is 29. So
what is the relationship like with your brother? Are y'all pretty close as well?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, even though it's 10 years apart, but I mean, that's like my best friend. Like, we still, a brother's relationship is like,
shout out to GQ Sinegal, man. That's that guy for sure.
Hell yeah.
He passed me all the sauce. Yeah, he passed me all the sauce. If y'all was wondering, like, I gotta give credit to big bro, man.
For sure.
And I love the father that he is, man. I wish Carter was here. I was trying to, but he got school in the morning, so you gotta make sure, man.
For sure.
Yeah, awesome, man.
No, I love his little kids, man, and then Christian, right?
Yeah.
They're fun. And it's cool because, I mean, my little nephew Asen, like, they're all gonna grow up together too. I hope they all go to Andrews too.
and be, do better than what we did. That's the real goal, and that to me is what success feels like, is when your family is good. And the fact that I could be around my nephews. My sister has some nephews, has some sons, 2 sons and a daughter as well. So, like, that to me is, like, what's cool, 'cause they think I'm the coolest ever. So, like, nobody could tell me anything, man. So, that's really dope, man. And your sister, you said, what's the relationship like with her?
We're super close, bro. Like, we're very similar as people too. So, like, she kind of, she's dealt with a lot of the same things as far as when it comes to, like, anxiety and stuff. Like, very similar. So we're there for each other all the time, bro. If she's going through something, like, she knows she can call me and, like, I'll pick up. Or if she ever needs anything with, like, my nephew, like, she knows it's like I'll be there no matter what. So
yeah, shout out to the sisters, man.
Yeah.
That like, man, shout out to my sister Amber, who is really like my second mom.
yeah, that's
too.
what
You
it
know-
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, man. Just being a little brother than having a big sister.
they're very protective. They're very
Yeah.
catering. Like
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure, man. Shout out to my sister, man. I miss you. I love you. Yeah, for sure.
Does she live in El Paso?
She lives in Virginia.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she lives in Virginia. So we'll go see them for Thanksgiving and have all of the kids there. It's gonna
Yeah.
be so special, man. But
Yeah,
I know how it is having just a a big sister.
for
man.
sure. And even just like like you mentioned the nephews, and like I look at my nephew, bro, and like that's the one. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll do anything for my family, but that's the
Yeah.
one kid that like
Yeah.
he can
Yeah,
do no
whatever.
wrong, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
anything he needs, I'm like,
Mm.
even if he's being like, I don't know, I just have like, there's something about
It's a
him.
special, it's a
for
special
sure.
type of love and,
Yeah.
and connection, man. And yeah, my nephews, my nieces, they could get whatever out of me, and
Yeah.
that's kind of my way of paying my peoples back, my sister, my brother, for all of the stuff they've done for me, all the stuff they're gonna do for me, but just for being a blessing,
Mhm.
over my life. Like I said, being the youngest comes with its responsibilities as well. So being the oldest comes with the responsibilities. So man, super grateful to have siblings that I'm close with, that I could talk to, man. Because they got some people out there, man. People not talking to their brothers
Yeah, I was
and
about
their
to say
sisters,
that.
man. It's so
Yeah.
crazy. But me losing one, just all of that was like, listen, we're not gonna ever be in no space where we're not talking to each other
Yeah.
and stuff like that, man. So
Yeah, that's crazy to me sometimes to think about how like there's brothers and sisters that don't speak,
yeah,
and it's like
yeah,
that's everything for me. Like that's
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, but I mean, I think bridges can be mended no matter what. I think it's just
100%.
a matter of it's a big ego thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, I've realized that a lot of things could be fixed with a conversation. A lot
sure.
of things is just miscommunication or a ego thing, for sure. So yeah, y'all gotta let that ego go,
Mhm.
whatever it is, man. Let it go, cause it's nothing more important than family,
Yeah,
for sure.
number one, family.
Mm,
Speaking of family, bro, you're a father of
for
two,
sure. Yes.
and what's that like? What's that like being a father?
I mean, I got girls, man. So you see, I always gotta have roses in case,
Mm-hmm.
I see them, man. But it's definitely been a tremendous blessing, over me being a girl dad. It helps you stay in your feminine element. I feel like I'm always in my soft, like, it's a learning process because they're girls, right? You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I love my daughters, Adara, who's 3, just turned 3 October 7th, and Alyssa, who will be 8 December 3rd, man. Yeah, they've been a tremendous blessing.
Mm-hmm.
to
And
me, man.
what have you learned just through being a father and someone who's, I mean, you had the experience as well. You had your first daughter at 20 years old.
Mhm.
So what would you tell someone who's in that same position, who's about to have a kid and they're 20, they're just young?
Yeah, just stay connected, be as present as possible. It may not always feel right or look right but as long as you stay connected and as present as possible, that's all. That's the best that you could do. And that's the advice I get you. Be as present, be there as much as you can. Understand that life happens, but if you wanted to, you would. So
Yeah.
only thing I can say is just try to be there, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm glad I'm not where I was. Every day is a learning experience. Every day is I'm trying to grow to be a better father and be a better man for them. So everything that I do is for, them, for them to see that, like, all right, Dad didn't always have it together. He didn't always do it the right way, but he tried and he gave 100%. And that's just what I'm trying to do every day is give 100% and give effort. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's something in the last pod we were talking about too, how like it's really not even like when they're at such a young age, they don't remember what you buy them. Like they don't remember like the shoe, like whatever. All they remember is if you're there and like if you're they just want to play with you. They just want you to be there with them.
100%, man. And that's what I'm trying to do is create just moments, however I can. Like, let's just create a moment. It doesn't have to be, too much, but yeah, that's literally, what I'm trying to do. Be a better man. They help me to do that, and definitely, I mean, having girls, it definitely give you a different perspective on just women, period, and the way that you want to treat them. And that's how I try to go out every day, and just put the best product on,
For sure.
yeah, on paper for them to see that, like, hey, like, this is how you're supposed to, be treated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to create. Like,
Yeah.
listen, this is how you're supposed to be treated, and don't settle for anything less than what I'm giving you. And I know I have to be that example. And every day I'm just trying to be better than I was,
That's all you can do, bro.
That's it.
Yeah. And for sure, that's like I heard someone, like, I was talking to someone and they were saying how, like, actually having women in your life or having like a sister, you can sometimes tell, or like someone has like an important like a female in their life.
Right.
Usually you can tell in the way they interact with
100%.
like other females,
Yeah.
and just because you like, yeah, you just kind of know that they have some like important women in their life.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Shout out to their mothers who do an awesome job with doing everything that they have to do to provide and be, somebody that they could look up to as well, man. So, yeah, definitely. Grew up with my mom and my sister, so I definitely always had that, that love of women and love of, like, they need to be nurtured and cared for. So, yeah, no, for sure. I think that definitely helped. And I wonder why God, you gave me 2 daughters.
Hey, that's gotta say something about
two is like,
yeah,
okay,
that's
like,
crazy.
yeah, like, you want me, okay. There's something that I'm supposed to be learning, and I definitely have, and it's definitely that you need to be more intentional about with how you treat not just all people but women in general. You growing up and you're young, and you may not always make the right decision about women or to women, so definitely learning from those experiences, and like learning how to,
Yeah. And are you together with the mom?
No, they're doing their own thing, and I'm super happy for them that they still allow me to build my relationship with my daughters, man. So shout out to them for being great. Yeah. For that.
Co-parenting is
it's tough.
Important. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's tough. Yeah, it's hard, but when you love somebody, you got to do it. And that's why I said sometimes it's just about the effort. Sometimes you're gonna have to run through loops, but they're worth it. So I'll run through whatever loops I have to. Sure.
And when it comes to like just building like a romantic relationship with someone, or just being with someone, do you feel like it's changed in our time, or modern, like, just maybe just finding someone, or like just trying to build something with someone? Like, do you think it's been harder in recent years, or do you think it's just something that's always been just a challenge in a way? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that talk about nowadays where it's like it's pretty hard to
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed. I mean, it's gonna change and evolve over time, right? And I'm sure it's probably harder to be in a relationship, in these times than it probably was, then. So, yeah, I'm just being more intentional about everything that I do when it comes to women. Again, having 2 daughters will give you a different perspective on how, you treat them, So, yeah, I'm definitely taking my time and trying to just allow God to, whoever supposed to be in my life, let them be in my life. Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely. What do you think? I mean, you're a little. How do you feel about? I feel like I've been there and done that. So, my experiences is different. Yeah. But how do you feel about?
Honestly, bro, it's easy to kind of generalize in a way. But I think the right person's out there for everybody 100%. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And as I try to be honest with myself and who I am as a person, and I know what my intentions are all the time.
Right.
Like, I'm always gonna I want intention behind everything I do, and so no matter who comes into my life, like if I really care about someone, I'm gonna give 100%.
100%. Yeah.
And if it doesn't pan out, then that's, I mean, it just
That's
wasn't.
just how. Yeah. And I've learned, to accept it, that if it doesn't work out, then it just didn't work out. And I'm grateful for the relationships that I had that I no longer have, but I learned so much from them. And every relationship that I had, I felt like was a building tool for me from my next relationship, or and just in my relationship with my daughters. Like, to me, like, that's the most important, aspect. That's why I said it's a little different for me, because I got two young, that are going to be watching, and I know that however I treat, their mothers or the next person is going to be a reflection of what they'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Get to. So I'm glad that they're still young, and that the mistakes that I made with previous, that it may have not been obvious to them, and I've changed so much since then. I want to give them the best representation of myself.
For sure.
In those times you could lose yourself and not.
For sure. I think everybody goes to it, bro. So, but we talked about like being present. How in your life, how do you find that you can create moments and just be in the present moment? Like, what do you do that kind of helps you with that? Because I think for a lot of people, a lot of our lives are kind of spent in our heads, bro, and sometimes we don't really appreciate what we have going on, like, right now. So what are some things that you do to kind of help ground you or help be in the present moment?
Really, what I try to do is, when I'm creating these moments, with my daughters, is whatever I got going on, I leave that at the door. When I come in here, I'm a full-time, dad, because I'm not there all of the time, and I'm sure it could be hard for me to just, so literally being present, which is, it's not on your phone. It's not, doing all of these things. I literally learned to enjoy the small moments of, like, quality time. And I think that's what my love language is quality time and, affection. And I think that's why God blessed me with two daughters. Daughters love their fathers. So, like, that's my, my way of, like, just being literally, like, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's like you have to be present. I don't know. It may be hard for a lot of people to, like, just be in a moment, but, like, for me, I think my life has helped me learn to just, like, listen,
just appreciate
it. Just literally be in a moment. You don't have to capture every moment, but, like, just be in a moment, be happy. What do you think that you do or could do? Or
because I spend. I'm in my head a lot, bro. So like when I'm always thinking about something. So I feel like I have to actually let's pause. I'm gonna change the battery really quick, bro. Yeah, I think that's harder and harder to do, especially because just so many distractions, bro. There's a lot of distractions, but certain things that help me, like when I'm with my nephew, is really just like you have to do it consciously. At least for me, I have to do it consciously, where it's like, how much time do I actually get to spend with him? Right. Or like, you just kind of realize it just has to be a conscious thing. You just kind of tell yourself, like, all right, like, this is what's important right now. Yeah. Because we get caught up, and we can get caught up in a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I think it may be easier for me just because I'm not there all the time. So, like, when I'm there, I'm so happy, and I'm so, like, listen, like, I'm so, like, I have no choice but to live in the present, because it's just like I'm not here all the time. So I'm trying to get the best out of every situation, So
for sure,
I love that.
Is there a quote that you kind of try to live by, or any sort of saying that you kind of always think about, or?
I mean, there are a lot, but I could do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I live by it because it's had to be my life. Like, when there were times where I didn't think that I could get through a moment, which have been a lot of times, or like, man, how am I going to get through this? And when I dig deep, sometimes you got to dig deep. I realized that, look, through God, through Christ, like, any obstacle that you may have, you could do it through me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I always am consciously thinking about, because I want to do a lot of stuff. So it's just like, when you're trying to do so many stuff, and you don't know how you're gonna get it done, it forces you to, number one, have faith,
Mm-hmm.
right? But number two, realize that you can't do it by yourself. You can't heal your hurts, your traumas, your anxiety by yourself. And I learned that very, very quick at a very, very young age. So that's something that helps me kind of just refocus, or if I get, lost in the sauce, I could always come back to like, all right, let's get back to your core and to your values. And I think that that's what my parents really helped me, is when you're lost, getting back to your core and to those things that you really, really do value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. And what do you think about the term like self-made? Do you think that's a thing, or because you kind of touched on like you can't do it by yourself? Like there's so many things that kind of, at least for me, when I think about that, I'm like, yes, I definitely put, like, I do what I can myself, and I definitely feel like I work as hard as I can, but at the same time, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for so many people around me, you know? So do you kind of feel, how would you feel about that? Do you feel like you need people like to kind of...
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you have to cultivate relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I realized that, like, there's certain places that you can't get to with money. You know what I mean? Like, I think people think that a large sum of money fixes or helps. It does help, but I've learned that relationships are way more important,
Sure.
than money, because it's about, power at this point. So you're always going to need people. Whoever says they're self-made, okay, I understand it. But for anybody, I would try to dig deeper into, like, what do you mean by that? Self-made, and maybe they have a good, explanation that probably makes sense. Like, all right, maybe you is self-made, but me, like, I'm God-made. You know what I mean? Like, God helped me be here.
Yeah, God-made. I like that.
Yeah, God-made, man. Yeah. Not for sure. So, yeah.
That's a good point, though. Like, you say, money, I mean, definitely money can provide you with like so many resources and
open so many doors, man. It's so many places that I've been with no money in my pocket. But I'm wherever I needed to be because of those relationships.
Exactly. Like the people like you can get in the door if, like, you don't have to have money, but if you know somebody, you're really locked in with somebody, like that can, or
not
really
necessarily have that your money wasn't good here. Like, we don't care about your money, sir. Who are you? Okay, I know. Oh, come in. Yeah. So I learned. My father helped me learn that very, very quick, man. When I saw all of that he's accomplished, although it was God made, I just got a chance to just watch him build relationships that he still has and that could still open doors for many people, man. So that's what I took from having my father. Shout out to my father for being present and putting in, effort. So man. But having those relationships, man, open up so many doors.
Yeah, that's something that I think about more than anything, is like when I'm especially just doing the podcast and just trying to, like, over the past year, like, I definitely made a conscious effort just to kind of put myself out there, and it's really helped a lot, bro. Like,
you about to go federal, bro. This is gonna be special, man, and that's why I wanted to be a part of it, because I came in here and I got a chance to just see you be real and authentic, allowing people into your house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just things like that. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be special. What's it called?
The most vulnerable player.
You dig me? You dig me? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it, bro. I mean, I could sit here and say, I look straight into the camera, like, I really do. I do this because I love it, bro. And, like, I love having these conversations, and I don't ever want that to change. Like, I just want to keep it, like, obviously, like, there's definitely a part of me that wants to grow it and just wants to reach more people, but I never wanted to change the reason I do it,
Right.
I just try to stay true to that. And
so when you get into that big, studio or wherever you want to be, you could really come back to this moment and be like, all right, this is really what I'm doing it for. And
Yeah.
we could play it back.
Like-
and when you still have that core value, I'm going to look you in your eye and be like, most vulnerable player, man.
Yeah.
That's real P, man, for sure.
Yeah. I don't even know how that, like,
It's
came
hard.
about, bro.
It's
Like-
hard. I said, most, okay, you trying to talk to me for real now, huh? You trying to really get me out my elements and, like, you know, get into some core, man. So I love that, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have a theme song.
Dude.
Most vulnerable.
Nah, for sure. We got to work on that. I mean, I know a lot of artists, so
We
maybe
know
we
some
can-
artists, man. Hey, listen, right now we got this could be the little artist. Drop your little most vulnerable player
little
theme.
tune.
Yeah. And you gonna pick it out. It's gonna be real player
For sure.
for sure.
I like that.
Yeah. It's gonna be dope.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, just trying to stay consistent, bro, ultimately. And I think that's with anything.
Yeah.
Anything is just,
Consistency. Yeah. You're doing, as I said, you're doing a great job, and not many people are even here with it. So the fact that you're on episode 16, unless you know, man, like,
Mhm.
yeah, you're doing something really special here. And again, I'm honored. I'm blessed to be a part of it. And just share a little part of my life. With you, man. Yeah, for sure.
I've really enjoyed it, bro. Like I said, we've crossed paths, we've been around each other, but we've never like got a chance to really talk. And
Yeah.
for sure, I mean, I look up to you, bro, in a lot of ways, just from a distance, and I always see like you've always done things like the right way, and like you've
Appreciate that.
never cut corners, and
Mhm.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad that we were able to make it happen ultimately.
No, for sure, man.
What's something that you, for someone who was in your position that lost a sibling,
Mhm.
what is it can be recent for someone, what is something that you would tell them if they're in that moment?
I mean, and this is gonna sound easier said than done, right? But
Yeah.
really trusting God that He makes no mistakes. You know, when I was going through those times of like questioning God and being angry at God, and that's what I love about God, that He'll allow you to feel all of those emotions, and express them. I know a lot of people, you know, may think that you can't question God, but you know, those times at nights where I'm like, God, like, why are you, you know, doing this? But trusting God that He'll never put too much on you that you can't bear. Trusting the process and understanding that this is happening for a reason, and it's happening to shape your life. It's happening to groom you. And these skills that you'll pick up through these trials and tribulations will help you for the rest of your life. And I'm thankful for those moments. I mean, nobody wants to experience death, but it's real, and everybody's gonna die. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm glad that I got to experience it and know what it, you know, feels like. So when it's time for, you know, somebody else, I know how to handle it. I know where I can run to, you know, and I'm grateful for that. So it's really trusting the process and trusting that God makes no mistakes. You know, God needed my brother, God needed my sister, and their time on this earth was well spent, you know, and it didn't go, you know, for granted. And that's the reason I wear 21, is because, you know, to honor him, man. And
Mhm. That was his number?
yeah, that was, so that was something that I felt like I could do to, you know, really represent when you see that 21 in that Sinegal, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, my nephews are now trying to wear that number too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so all of those things are...
And and he's very much still alive, bro.
Right.
He can do that, you know?
And we're talking about him right now.
Yeah.
So it just lets me know that, like, listen, like, it wasn't in vain. And so many lives were changed because of it. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, your brother, I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? So that touched me as well. Shout out to your brother. Yeah, but it helped me know that and understanding that when it's time to let people go, you let them go, you know, and you have to cherish the people who are still here. Because there's a lot of people. You worried about somebody that you know you can't change when there's people in front of you that need your love and would love. You know what I'm saying? So
that's big.
Yeah. So just cherishing, that. So yeah, for those people who may be going through tragedy or a loss, understanding the bigger picture, and although it may be one day at a time, one shoe at a time, every day just get up if you're able to, and be thankful that God put breath in you so you could wake up and be here and cherish that.
Amen.
Now we
For
preaching
sure,
on
bro.
here now.
Yeah.
Most vulnerable player. Huh? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So in the near future, like what are you working towards right now at the moment? So we can manifest this and you can look back and be like, just use this. Cause I mean, I listen to podcasts, like my podcast, and just to learn from everything. So what do you hope to accomplish? Like, what are you working towards right now?
Really just being a better father and figuring out ways that I could create something for my daughters. Right now, this is my daughter's candle that we're working on. I'm working on some scents right here just to have some stuff. What you said you like this one right here. Right there. Yeah.
Everything smells great in here.
I appreciate it, man. And somebody created these for me. We're gonna have to drop her information.
Yeah, for
right
sure.
Here. Yeah.
Let me get the card actually.
Yeah. Super Bloom Wellness. Karen K. Moore. Yeah, she's
Shout out to Karen K. Moore. Yeah,
she's helping me with these. Just creating my own scent, man. Just something real player like, man. Just so you could be smelling good.
Hey, that's smelling good is like everything, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you with the candle and stuff, man. So just working on that, just working on ways that I could create, something for my daughters to have, something for them to do. Yeah. I'm actually going. Shout out to my barber, Philly Cuts. Yeah. We're actually gonna be going into business. I'm gonna get into the hair space, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually got some stuff in the work, man. So
for sure.
Be looking out for that. Hopefully we could get that done really soon, man. It's gonna be really special, man. And I'm gonna make sure you get the first love.
Well, I appreciate it, bro.
Care of you, man. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Nah, you definitely got a lot going on right now, and
I appreciate it.
Just let me know. And I could support in any way. I'd love to, bro, for sure.
Thank you.
And anybody else you want to shout out before?
Now we about to go on a shout out. I gotta shout out the whole Northeast. Hey, shout out to the whole Northeast, man.
Man, I love like I live on the east side, but I love the Northeast.
Is just a part of you, man. Yeah, my parents still stay on that side, so I still get a chance to. Where do you stay right now? So I'm moving to Dallas.
For
to
real?
Kind of just get into the. I really love working with special education. Yeah. I don't know if that'll be but right now I think that God's using me in that space, man. It's a
so you got an opportunity out there.
Yeah. So I'm just praying. Everything works out. Who knows? So I'm kind of just letting God lead me right now. But yeah. Shout out to my nephews, Carter, Christian, IJ, Iman. Y'all gotta be great, better, do it better than me. I'm trying to set the bar high. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to my nieces, Jordan, and Aaron. My sister named her daughter after
Aaron.
my.
That's amazing.
So and then I named my daughter after Alyssa. So shout out to Alyssa and Adar. And yeah, man, shout out to everybody who's pushing peace and love. For sure.
Yeah. And yeah, that is the most vulnerable player.
The biggest.
Episode 16. Sir.
Yeah.
That's big, bro. Big Eddie.
Always love.
Sir.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.